center, because it's finding the center of your own being and becoming conscious of that. And I completely changed what I was going to share this morning with the theme serendipity, because I knew I couldn't go there with what has occurred. And so we're going to do an opening song that I found from Barbra Streisand called Lady Liberty. And I would like that to be our opening song. So take in the words deeply, because what I will be sharing today will be in how we can all rise to something greater and more than what we see.
Up and turn it up.
Be open to the realization of prayer for all without exception, that the reality of that power of prayer for all without exception is the most essential thing in our mind and our hearts this very moment, so that those in the midst of hatred, divisiveness, those that are in mental anguish, those that are responding with violence and hatred, they're included in that prayer. Those that are impacted by the actions of the results of violence, that everyone without exception, that we awaken to the reality in this world more than ever, that we pray for our enemies, that we realize that the only way to future generations, awakening to a world of possibilities, of new imagining, is that we have prayed for everyone without exception. And so it is. So there was no way I could do the theme this morning on serendipity. It didn't feel appropriate. But I am going to speak about the event last night of the attempted assassination of former President Trump. You know, many times recently, I've thought, I haven't seen the extreme of violence and divisiveness and hatred as I behold currently in our country and world. And then I stepped back yesterday and thought, oh my God, what have I witnessed in my 82 years? The John F. Kennedy assassination, November 2022, 1963. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on May 7th, 1968. The Robert F. Kennedy assassination, June 6th, 1968. Attempted assassination on Ronald Reagan, March 30th, 1981. The 1992 Los Angeles riots, also called the South Central riots, the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, that I was an integral part of, living there at that time and witnessing Los Angeles burning, and right where I worked, not able to go back for a week because of the violence. The violence and brutality of Black, brown, indigenous lives, the LGBTQ plus community, the white supremacy that still exists from the conception of our country. It's still here. And a country that planted seeds for liberty and freedom. However, with exceptions. Planted seeds for liberty and freedom, but in truth and reality, not for all. Yet, the ongoing gun violence of our schools, of those mentally ill that receive no help, that are not addressed, that are not seen and dealt with in ways that give them hope to recover. You know, future generations will continue to inherit a world of divisiveness and prejudices and hatred and warring until we begin to pray for all without exception and to get to the roots of hatred that we carry generationally, to get to the roots of that hatred. You know, I believe that the inner work that I do on myself to not be contributing to the world thoughts of violence and vengeance and getting even, and that I'm right and they're wrong. And hate and anger cannot be the values that I energize, that I put forward and for. You know, hate. Martin Luther King, clearly, hate begets hate, and violence, toughness begets greater toughness. We must meet the forces of hate with the power of love. We must meet the forces of hate with the power of love. Albert Einstein. I always have a high regard for the individual and have an insuperable distaste for violence and clubmanship. And by clubmanship, he's meaning exclusive, private, privileged, supreme membership based on race, religion, or whatever. All these motives made me into a passionate pacifist and an anti-militarist. I am against any nationalism, even in the guise of mere patriotism. Privileges based on position and property have always seemed to me unjust and pernicious, as did exaggerated personality cults. Albert Einstein. Oh, bit of intelligence there. Here's something that Dr. Maya Angelou in 1997, while interviewed by the Academy of Achievement, the interviewer said, "It's very hard to hate someone if you look them in the eye and recognize them as a human being." And Dr. Angelou responded, you must add that and recognize them as a human being. Because people have lynched people, and people threw people in gas ovens, and they were looking them in the eye. But in order to emphasize, you have to accept that this person is as human as I. This person that I may have great disagreement with, that I may have a great sense of their wrongdoing, they're human too. Once you do that, it's very hard to impose cruelty on another human being. Let us carry the legacy forward and bring tangible change, action, and healing to our communities and nation and world by recognizing each other as human. Donald Trump is human. I mean, Donald Trump is human. We are all human. And that's the awakening that needs to occur. That we can look each other in the eye and have respect. I'm human, you're human. We're here seeking to find our way to not be in continuing violence and hatred and greed and lust and the quest for power over another. The ultimate reality is what I said in the prayer, that I have to be in prayer without exception for remembrance that we're all human. We're all human. And we all have a right to be here. And we've tripped into horrible ways and means and thoughts of believing otherwise, that believing there are others. And that word others has to come out of our vocabulary because there are no others. Believe me, I felt very much an other in my turmoil of my own sexual identity. I felt I really was an other, and I was despicable and didn't deserve to be here. I had to prove my worth. Well, I no longer believe that, and I am so grateful. If we want to see a world differently, and dear Maddie, I want to see a world differently for you and the generations that you represent, and for Dominic, for all the young people coming up. And evidently the young man that attempted this assassination was only 20 years old. So something inside him was in such turmoil and pain, but not dealt with. Not dealt with. I pray for him too, for his family, for their grief and the sadness of everything that violence represents. Where what I believe, we are in a cosmic shift on our planet, and the inquiry is here for all of us. What am I contributing to the evolution of our history for future generations through my personal words, deeds, and actions? That's the inquiry every day, every moment. What am I contributing to the continuity of seeing that world consciousness shift, because it comes to a collective awareness of, oh my God, we're all human. We're all in this together. To build bridges of compassion and the willingness to listen to views that are opposite of mine and not be in immediate defensiveness. Not be, but you're so wrong. Maybe I can hear the deeper search that's going on. And maybe I can have a more openness to hear what's being said. And yes, stand for my own truth, for what I believe, of course, but stand for it in a way that exudes care and compassion. And you're human too. You're human too. I want to hear you. Love prevails. It has in my life, but it's not been easy because I have carried such hatred for myself. And the work that I'm doing currently, it's like, oh, really, Charles, in your 80s, you're going for counsel? Haven't you got it yet? And my simple answer is, no, I don't. And there's no arrival point at illumination, at awareness. There's only that you're willing to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the roots of the things that have blocked you from realizing your own value and worth and potential to contribute something of merit and love to the planet. We're here that love prevails and that we can learn from one another. And in that quest that we have a right to be our authentic selves. And ultimately, authenticity means, oh, wow, what a diverse world we have. Oh, my God, how incredible is it that we can't put anyone in a box. Now, the one thing that I'm realizing more than ever is that I tried to fit in a box. I tried to fit to be appropriate. Well, most of the time. But the genuine reality, all I want is to be the two-spirited soul that I am. I am male and I am female. But my purpose singularly, my sexuality does not define who I am. How I live, how I approach and give to others, what I open to hear from them defines who I am, who you are. You know, labeling is so cruel, and we are taught to label. We are taught early on, oh, you know, it's one of those people. So, you know, be careful. And we do that in race, we do that in religion, we do that in our sexual desire, in who we are. Oh, those people. I know what it feels like to be called those people. It doesn't feel so great. I'm people. I'm people just like you. I'm human just like you. Donald Trump is human just like me. And do I feel that there's a warring going on inside him? That there's pain going on inside him? That there's struggle going on inside him to prove himself in ways that he doesn't have to? Yeah, I do. But he's human. I want to pray for him, that breakthroughs can occur for him as they are for me. You know, in Matthew, Jesus said, and I'm substituting the word Father for Creator, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be called the sons and daughters of the Creator, who is in heaven, who is within you. For our Creator makes the sun rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. Because that's the journey of this life in this dimension on this planet. We're here to grow, to evolve, to realize I and you and me and we in the Creator, and we are one, and we are all together called human. I know personally that my enemies as Charles are within me. That no person, place, or thing, no moment of a sense of betrayal, of a sense of being the victim, no moment defines me as that. I am not a victim, and I never have been. I may have had a moment of, oh my God, I need to take a look at this on a deeper place, on a deeper level, right? What's going on? What's going on? How can I be aware and accountable for greater love and regard for this man so that darkness and brutality doesn't occur? And the greatest lesson I have, oh, I immediately pray. I immediately pray for those that may have attacked me, that may have threatened my life, that may have wanted to kill me because of, he's gay. You know, inside me, that ongoing suicidal wish. So I pray for everyone and that they rise to something greater, something deeper, something more in their life journey, that violence is not the answer, that there's no others, there's only him, you, me, her, us together, and we're human together. We're human together. I want to meet those that did attack me when I cross over, and I pray that I can get to meet them and go to them and hug them and say, oh, I pray that you've had a decent and a good life. I send only love to you. And we are in a time of such conflict as to the future we will see. I want to share something from the actually May, June Science of Mind. This material here from that just was so pertinent. While congregants in churches across the globe may wish to turn away from the social issues of the day, theologian James Cone reminds us of the impossibility of such an approach. All creative Christian theologies, and I will say all creative faith theologies, all of them, come into being as persons encounter contradictions in life about which they cannot be silent. And David Alexander from The Science of Mind, he writes, but the solution to the dissonance is not to ignore the world as it is, turn our heads and pretend we don't see what we see. Not the solution to enter the world as it is, equipped with our vision and affirmations. The solution is, no, the solution is to enter the world as it is, equipped with our vision and affirmations, and do what is necessary to bring the world of our vision forth into our own personal experience and journey. If the question before us is how we heal those harmed and how we create a more equitable society in which all can thrive, then logic demands we examine our history through a lens of compassion with a consciousness of oneness. And this is a powerful paragraph. The United States, with our history, that includes the horrors of slavery, the genocide of indigenous peoples, and the treatment of women as second-class citizens, cannot turn away from its own past, lest it sacrifice its ideals and principles to the lesser comforts of ignorance and complacency and bigotry. We cannot change our past, but our future demands that we educate every citizen about our shared past so as to heal from its wounds and create our fondest desires. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and with justice for all. Thank you. And I really would love to open this. There is time to anyone that's willing to come up and share your thought, an inquiry, a question. I would so welcome that, because we're all in this together. You know, I do listen every Sunday before I come in here to Fareed Zakaria, because I believe that he is a brilliant, magnificent teacher, awareness of the world community in a way that I really value what he brings and the view that he has. And so I just ask, the mic is on here, and be vulnerable. You know, when I share what I do, I'm more vulnerable than ever. And I think I've always been pretty much kind of vulnerable. But more than ever, it's important to me that you look within your soul to speak and honor that we're all human. Beloved Reverend Jean.
Yes, I will. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Charles. And, you know, quoting Barbara Marx Hubbard, I often and always do, we are the ones, now is the time. We are the ones, now is the time. And I was thinking about, as you shared, in my childhood, what I was taught, who I was taught was other. And so I was raised Catholic, and I was taught, like, my parents had no racial, they didn't see race, or I don't believe really they saw sexual identity. What they saw was Protestant. And I was taught that Protestants were bad, were evil, that I couldn't associate with Protestants. I mean, you laugh, but I just think about this. And I grew up on 3 acres of property in the high desert, in the Mojave Desert. And across the way were children that were Seventh-day Adventists. And we were told never to associate with them, talk to them. I mean, as far as we knew, they were the devil. I'm serious about that. And so what my brothers and sisters and I would do was we would stockpile dirt clods. We'd actually make these and we'd stockpile them on our land. And then sometimes they would sneak onto our land and we'd have this holy war. And then, and then, and there was about as many of them as there were us. And then that, we'd sneak on their land and then they'd be like, the Catholics are here, and there'd be this holy war. And I'm not sure, I don't think any of us ever won, but I realized that they were taught the same thing clearly, because they didn't say, oh, the Catholics are here, let's have tea and cookies. But I was thinking about, and so you laugh. Yeah, there's a part of this that's funny, but also the truth is this, we're taught these things. We really are not born hating Protestants. In fact, I think I'm sitting in a room full of them right now. We're not, we're, it's so interesting that it's a learned behavior. And if that's true, we can unlearn it. We can unlearn it. And I know, so I have to put into that category, that I know that when we are damaged, when we are harmed, when we are taught things and hurt successfully, repeatedly, we can often appear in the world as someone who is a monster, but is really needing love. And I know that for my own self as well. So I was just listening to what you said and just thinking about my very first prejudice was Protestants, of all people, you know. But I love Protestants. So there you go. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yay. Thank you, Rosie.
I find it's not hate, it's anger that rises up within me when I look at what's going on. And it, I have enough awareness that, Roseanne, you shouldn't be doing that. But I'm angry about the hate that I'm seeing out there, and then I have to watch it within me. So I just own this incredible process because, you know, it's not just 1963, but it's been our lifetimes on this planet. It's not just this country. It is the history of human beings to go for the hate rather than the love. That is part of this process, this gift of life. And I hold on sometimes like I'm on a life raft, just trying to keep my head above water, recognizing that my job is to love. And it's not about there being others, it's about me stepping up as a human being and loving those that would harm me and that harm others. And that is our work as human beings. And it is so profound. And I just wonder, why can't we get this? But I will say this community here, this community, more people belong in this room with us, because what we're talking about is of vital importance, and we need to be that voice. We must be that voice. And so the work is in filling this room. And I'm going to go knock on doors for Tester and Democrats, and God knows who will answer the door. But you know, I'll be saying prayers before I knock on that door. Hey, God, just give me the wisdom to listen with an open heart and work on educating people that are buying those fucking lies that are being sold every day.
Thank you, Rosie. Yes, please.
I am moved both by your speech and Jane and Rosie. I just want to say what a miracle it is that we all are here today, coming from so many different backgrounds. I grew up with a woman, my mother, who spent a lot of time with 3 kids because my dad was a pilot and gone. And she believed that it was most important what you did, what you were inside. She didn't care about color, race, sex, or anything else, religion. And one time I remember she told me, we all have 2 eyes, 2 ears, nose, mouth, and that's what's important. We're human. And I have realized over the years how very lucky we were to be blessed with a mother like that. She spent 2 years after high school working on an Indian reservation. She learned a lot. She admired them greatly. That's where she learned 6 generations you consider before making a major decision. She admired them greatly because they allowed the women to vote for hundreds of years before we even thought about it. So the speed with which the human race has developed physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, when you look at it as a whole, I guess for me, it becomes a great learning lesson, but also focuses me on what you said. we are all human. We all have to consider not just those that agree with us, but we have to listen to those who disagree and find out what they think and why they think that. Because until we're interested enough in that, we will never be able to make any sort of impact, I don't think. And we certainly don't want to make it through violence. And I hope that Trump is able to mend his ear and his heart in ways. Forgive me for that last one, but thank you for being here. Thank you for being the community that I have ended up supporting. I too would love to see this whole room filled, maybe with what has gone on in the world and in our own community in some ways. We will be able to attract more people like-minded and spread the word of love, acceptance, and maybe we'll change a little bit too by exchanging. Thank you.
We are here to mend hearts. Let's really know that we are here to mend hearts and work on our own becoming, that we can come to something deeper and richer within ourselves, that we're no longer in struggle and creating repetitive negative patterns in our lives, that when they appear, we can recognize it very quickly and like, ooh, I don't need to go there again, do I? And that's the deeper work I'm doing, because I have much more to do, much more to love, and much more to be, and so do every one of you. And so I thank for all of you that you are here today, and what I shared, and those that did share. Thank you. And you know, just a quick recognition of all the kingdoms. You know, the horse kingdom recognized one another as horses. You know, hey, oh, you're a horse. Of course, you're one of me. Oh, you're human. Of course, you're one of me. Oh, how joyous to be in that consciousness and learn what a magnificent diversity we are as humans. And every living thing has its own desire to share its personality, to share its beingness, to share its uniqueness. And when we see each other as equal in regards to who we are, what a wonder-filled world we can create. So it's time for our offering, and there is a song that feels really nice to just take in for that offering moment. And yeah, it's Gary Lynn Floyd and Loving Spirit, Living Spirit, Loving. Spirit through each and every one of you in your giving and contribution to this beautiful, magnificent community of the Helena Church, of conscious living. And so we take this, your gifts in, and we see it circulate and grow and expand so that more and more can become aware of the beautiful messages pertinent to our times that people receive here to create and plant the seeds for a better world, a visionary world for the future, by living it right now, right here together. So we honor your gifts, those that have given through Zoom, those that are present here, and all this community. We are in gratitude, and so it is. And again, the time that a lot of people, that's what you come for. is for the announcements. And so, it's like, oh, it's Sunday morning and there's going to be announcements at the Helena Church. I want to be there. So, so who do we have? Oh, it's Rosie D doing announcements. Yay. Yeah.
Thank you all. First off, I want to thank David. Bless his heart. Yeah, please. I had said to friends, well, I'll get trained because we need a sound person. And then this morning at tennis, I realized, I love this community, but there's no way I'm coming and setting up and miss Sunday tennis. So that's where my devotion is. David, thank you. And Maddie, just treasure each time you're with us now because you won't be shortly. Thank you. And you all may be wondering why I gave you this flyer which was done by our beloved Dominic. And while David is learning, in case we can't find someone right away, but he loves fishing. And I want to honor that. So we need a young person that Maddie can train. And I'm asking each of you to take this and put it up or give it to somebody that you know that has young people. I was thinking how wonderful it would be for Luke to learn this, because we'd have him for what, 8 years or something? And besides, he's older than he looks. And you guys know that. I mean, he's what, a 30-year-old in a how old body? But we won't put that on you. You guys, we need your help. So take this, give it to somebody that you know that maybe could do it, or put it up. Now, my commitment is to put this up at the Real Food Store and Capital, the workout place, Capital City. So, okay, great. So what I'm aiming for is for you guys to maybe brainstorm, so you're not all thinking, oh yeah, I'll take it to Winco. Don't all take it to Winco, okay? All right, so enough of that. Somebody so let's coordinate this. I have probably 5 left. So if in your heart you've got, a couple of places you want it to be, let's go for it. Now, Marilyn, did you bring this from Dominic? Oh, okay. Oh, I think he sent it to us. And if you guys look at this flyer, this young man is such a gift. And this is his thank you to us. And I'm going to read it because I don't want anybody walking out, or those that you are on Zoom, to miss what Dominic said. He said, hey, HCCL, thank you so much for the goodbye college gift. It means a lot, ! It's been a pleasant walking with all of you these past 4 years. And honestly, it makes me sad. I have to leave. Me too. Dominic, I'm sad too. But hey, if I'm ever in town, or if you need any help over the phone, don't be afraid to reach out. I enjoyed helping all of you, and I enjoy helping all of you in any way that I can. Thank you for everything. Dominic Blake. Pretty cool. What a guy. Okay, so July, I know that we announced this at July birthdays. Could you put your hands up if you got a July birthday? Because, so A, stand up, Mitzi, stand up, Marilyn, stand up, and Alan. So you guys, we love you and we celebrate your birthday. And I won't sing happy birthday unless you guys want to. But happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, may all your dreams come true. When you blow out that candle, one light stays aglow. It's that love light in your eyes wherever you go. Woohoo! And you guys, Alan's birthday is on the 17th. So how old is Alan going to be? Okay, he beats us all. Okay, good for him, leading the way. So I want all of you to think about calling Alan on his birthday or dropping something by, okay? Just to celebrate him. Okay. You're welcome. Let's see. We have in the back, the Quakers have given a gift to us, and it's all these journals I picked up. A World on Fire, Part 1, It Starts in the Mind. So those booklets back there, they're for us. We can put it in our library, or you can take it home, read it, and bring it back, and we'll circulate them. But thank you, Quakers, for thinking about us. I also want to thank Susan and Marilyn for this lovely altar. And the flowers are beautiful. I understand they're taking over Susan's garden. So she cut them and shared them with us. And I want to thank Charles because Marilyn told me to tell Charles wear blue today and so you guys, he really worked on it. Even the shoes are blue. Okay. All right. So a lot of thought goes into all of this. I want you to know. So masterfully mindful, that is sort of called Jean. Yes. So masterfully mindful, for those on Zoom that didn't hear that, is not meeting this week because it's Alan's birthday. So those on Zoom, please call Alan, wish him happy birthday. And if you're, and we all need it, looking for some love and some support, call Jean and get involved with the Masterfully Mindful group. All right. Now, next, David has put, and you all that are Course in Miracle folks, I actually want you to know that last Wednesday I showed up. Now, I've been saying I was going to show up for a long time, and that was the first of the no meetings. And so I had a wonderful meditative time in those chairs in the foyer. And sorry I missed it, but I'm looking forward to it. When does it start, David, again? August 13th. There's a good day. Okay. And it's Tuesdays. Yeah, I did go on Tuesday. I went on Tuesday. So Tuesdays, Course in Miracles, Wednesday, Masterfully Mindful, and Thursdays, we have Mind Your Own Becoming. Anything you want to say, Charles?
Our theme for the month of July is really about liberty, and that means the freedom to be authentically who you are. And Edward Miller has spoke last week. He will speak again. The end of the month, Reverend Lynn Fritz, who is a part of the indigenous community in California, will be speaking, and she's spoken before, and she always brings great brilliance. Bottom line, everything that I spoke about today is the core and the heart of why I'm doing Mind Your Own Becoming. So I encourage you, if you haven't checked it out, please consider joining us, because it's an ongoing, open community to listen to one another.
Thank you, Charles. Next week, Joanna Easton will be speaking. And then on the 28th, gentle reminder, Jean will be doing our service at Tizer Gardens. And I just want to remind you, you can invite people to come. Bella opens that whole space up for us. We get it free. And if you think about it, buy something from the store when you come on the 28th. But bring people. It's extraordinary to be in that space and to be have a service done in that kind of space. And lastly, I just have to, what? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sharon. Takes a village. So it will be a potluck. Bring light salads and desserts, right? Don't forget that. So light salads and desserts will supply the plates and the fork spoons. You bring your own water. We're not going to bring water. And what else am I forgetting? No mayonnaise. Okay, no mayonnaise. I just, this is so personal for me, what you shared. At 11 years old, I fell in love with my next door neighbor. And she was a girl, and I didn't understand that. But I just knew that I was in love with her. And so I didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't know how to have sex, honestly, until I was 20. I mean, that's how it rolled for me. But anyway, I carried that. I love how Pete Buttigieg talks about it. He says, you know, if you have an issue with my sexuality, take it up with God, because God made me that way. And that's the truth. But here's the thing that happens for people, and I don't care what group it is. All my life, I have lived with internalized oppression. And that's what you work with. It's where out there hates you and you take it on. Okay? So if you know anyone that's in one of those other groups, you shine love on them. Because I'll tell you, the hard work for me at 79 is still just being okay in the world. And I'm safe here, which is a tremendously fantastic commodity to be sharing. So you give that to other people because they deserve it. I'm sorry.
Wow. I think I want to read the prose that I created. I've read it once before for the Big Sky Retreat. That is the theme, A Journey to Love, and it's our last retreat. And after 48 years of being my spiritual anchor, so there's a lot of feeling going on about it. I'm really grateful that I have professional counsel to work through the grief journey that I'm feeling. But I will be sharing with you at another time that I reinvent Charles. So everything that appears to be closing means, hey, all right, there's something more, right? And I'll be sharing that. But right now I want to share this, and then we're going to close with a song by Josh Groban that is Don't Give Up. And I want you to really take in the words, because they are so profoundly beautiful and pertinent to the reality of what Rosie shared, what all of you have shared, what I shared. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the journey of life and purpose and love. So this is a journey to love. It is a remembrance. It is remembrance that is the key. Angels go before us to prepare the way, that we open to our destiny, the power of love to see. It's the quest to sing our song, that we all belong. We are born into forgetting and believe life is about getting, when life is about being, that we are all here to shed our light and open to inner sight. There are no others, just all, seeking remembrance of the call. It's a journey to love, that we may rise and come to realize that sacred quest that we all share, that we all matter and are here to care. That as Mother Nature proclaims, be. Sing your song, that all may be free, remembering the journey to love is our destiny. Don't give up. Don't give up on it. Let's share that song and breathe it in, and I'll do one brief closing prayer. Give up. To every newborn coming in, to every soul leaving, let's not give up the quest of love that we came here for. May every soul upon this planet, with a broken heart, with a sense of loss and despair and grief, or anger that has never been resolved or cleared, don't give up. Open to love, that we're all here together to remember we're not giving up, that future generations before us, the seventh generations ahead, rise because we haven't given up to the love that we're all human. There's no others, and we're here to triumph in that world awakening for the future. And so it is. Thank you.